Good morning, children. Welcome back to part 3 of The Rum Tum Tugger, written by T.S. Eliot. And I'm very sure you're ready with your notebook, pen, and new voice textbook, page number 148. So, yes, children, before we could proceed further with the part 3, let us quickly do a short recap of the entire poem. So, yes, children, this is our writer T.S. Eliot, and he was born in the year 1888 and he died in the year 1965. Now, children, let's quickly do a short recap of this entire poem. As we know, children, Rum Tum Tugger is half a pet cat and half a domestic nightmare. Now, he wants the exactly opposite of what to give him. That means if you offer the cat a pheasant, he would prefer grouse, and a house if you put him in a flat, a rat if you give him a mouse. He wants to be outside if you let him in. He blocks the doorways and get into the bureau drawers he cannot get out of. And this cat, he will not have cream unless he steals it from the larder shelf. And he is fond of cuddling sometimes, but make sure to jump into the lap of anyone who is suing. Now over here, the poet says that he's actually tried all the ways to change him or complaining about him, because there is nothing which can be done now about the Rum Tum Tugger's strange behavior. So the writer says that now only way to coexist with this cat is to make peace with his strange behavior. And now the writer also says that he conveys that he has struggled long and hard with the Rum Tum Tugger's misbehavior and eccentricity. That means whimsical behavior. And finally now he has given up. So this is what the entire poem is all about, children. Now let us see few value points from this poem. As you know, children, value points are really important, and you are supposed to make a note of all these points. The reason is this is actually the summary of the entire poem. So yes, children, this is the first slide of the value point. Make sure that you are going to read it properly. This is one more slide. Okay, there is one more slide, children. There are a few more points with regards to this poem, and these are all the important value points, children. So yes, these are few more points. Yes. So yes, children, so make sure that you are going to go through all these points and make a short summary of this poem. Now, children, it's time for reference to the context. Let us check the first sentence. He is always on the wrong side of every door. I repeat. The line says he is always on the wrong side of every door. Now, let us check what is the first question. The question is, what is the wrong side of any door? Okay, let us check. The answer is the wrong side of the door is any side on which the Rum Tum Tugger becomes an obstruction. I repeat, the wrong side of the door is any side on which the Rum Tum Tugger becomes an obstruction. Now, obstruction over here means, children, obstacles or hurdle, you can say. All right. Now, the next question. Why is he always on the wrong side? What is the reason, children? Yes, he is always on the wrong side because he always wants to be wherever he is not. Okay. Next, what does the speaker thinks about this habit? The speaker thinks it is terribly boring. Okay, so I'm very sure you are clear with all these three questions. Now, children, it's time for figures of speech. As we know, children, figures of speech is a word or phrase using figurative language. And what is the reason why the writers use figures of speech in their poem? The reason is to make it more creative, more expressive, and more interesting. So now children, let us see and check what interesting and creative lines is being used by this particular poet in this poem. Now the first line is, the rum tum tugger is a curious cat. Okay, if you check this particular line, the rum tum tugger is a curious cat. I have highlighted over here C and C. Okay, that's the sound of k. Okay, next line, the rum tum tugger is a terrible bore. Okay, so here T, T and T. So that's t, t, t. As we know children, this when we come across few consonant sounds in two or more neighboring words or syllables, when there are repeated words, they are called as alliteration, right? So over here, the consonant of the first alphabet is repeated. Okay, that is curious, and cat, it's k. And in tum tugger terrible, that's t, t, t. And that is the reason over here this is a figure of speech which is alliteration, right? I hope you are very much clear about this. Now let us check the next few lines. For he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it. Now children, over here in the first line and the second line, few words are repeated again. That's do, 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 isn't it? So now children, the reason the poet has used this kind of words which is in the form of repetition, the reason is to give a very stylistic literary effect to the poem. Now over here, repetition is the correct figure of speech. The reason is it is a literary device in which word or a phrase is repeated two or more times. So yes children, over here do and do, it's repeated 3 times over here, and that is the reason it is repetition. Alright, now let us check one more. When you let him in, then he wants to be out. So now children, over here, in, out, these both words are opposite. So these are two contrasting or opposing ideas, isn't it? And that is the reason this particular figure of speech is antithesis, right? So yes, whenever we come across any opposite ideas or any contrasting words, so these are nothing but antithesis, right? I hope you are very much clear about this. Now children, it is time for rhyming words. What are rhyming words? Yes, as we know, rhyming words are two or more words that have same or similar ending sound. I repeat, that have same or similar ending sound. So in this poem, there are few words which has got similar rhymes. Now the words are grouse, house, flat, rat, house, mouse, out, about, bore, door, beast, feast, isn't it? So I'm very sure children that now you are very much clear how the rhyming words you need to check from the poems. Now let us check the next one. So now children, the next topic is rhyme schemes. Let us check few rhyme schemes from this poem. What are rhyme schemes children? As you know, it's a pattern of sound that repeats at the end of a line or stanza. Okay, and we have already done this in the previous poem. So let us quickly check what kind of rhyme scheme we can form from first and the second stanza of this poem. Alright children, now pay attention. I am going to take the first stanza. okay, from this poem. Now let us, solve, or let us do this rhyme scheme together, and let us see whether you are able to do it correctly with me. Okay, let us quickly start. Okay, now the first word over here in the end of the line is cat, isn't it? So we will take over here as A, right? Next word grouse, so that's B. Then the third word is flat. Okay, so flat and cat, these both are the rhyming words, so over here it will be A again, right? Next, it's house. House and grouse, these both are the rhyming words, so again it will be B, right? Then we are coming across rat again. Now rat is rhyming with flat and cat, isn't it? So it will be A once again. Then the next word is mouse. Now mouse is actually rhyming with house and grouse, so of course it will be B again, right? Now next is cat, right? Now cat is again rhyming with flat rat, so of course over here it will be A again. Now the next word is it. It's a new word, so after A, B, we will take a new alphabet, which is C, right? Next, do. Of course it's a new word, so we will use after C, the next alphabet is D. Okay, do and do are repeated again, so one more D over here as it's a repeated rhyme or the words. Then the last word is it. Of course it, over here we already came across one more it, and we gave the alphabet as C. Now children, let us check what rhyme scheme we can form for the first stanza. I repeat the rhyme scheme. It is A, B, A, B, A, B, A, C, D, D, C. This is the correct rhyme scheme for the entire first stanza, children. I repeat the rhyme scheme. It is A, B, A, B, A, B, A, C, D, D, C. So those children, those who have done the rhyme scheme along with me, and if you have got this correct, very good, excellent job. All right. Now similarly we will do the rhyme scheme for the second stanza, right? Okay. All right children, make sure you're going to do the rhyme scheme along with me for second stanza. Now over here we have to restart again from the new alphabet. Okay, the reason is it is a second stanza, so we will start with A again. All right, so your first alphabet, the word over here is boar. Okay, so that's A. Next line, the second word is out, so it's a new word, so B. All right, the next one is door. Now don't you think so children, door and boar both are rhyming together, so of course it will be A again over here. Then the next one is about. Now about and out both are rhyming with each other, so it will be B again. Now the next word is drawer. Now drawer, door, bore, these are the rhyming words with each other, so of course over here it will be A once again. Next, out. As we know, out, about, out, we already did this, so B again. Now A, B is already done. Cat is a new word in this stanza, so we will take over here as C, right? Now it is again a new word, so it will be D. The next word is do, again a new word, so it will be E, but do is repeated, so one more E over here, and it over here is repeated, so it will be D again. So the rhyme scheme for this particular stanza is A B A B A B C D E E D. Yes, this is what the rhyme scheme for second stanza. And those have done it correctly. Okay, very good. And those who are really going to try this, make sure children you are going to practice this rhyme scheme. The reason is it is a really important part whenever it's a poem. Okay, so yes children, now there are two more stanzas and I want you to do the remaining two more stanzas yourself as a practice and check what will be the rhyme scheme. So now children, it's time for activity. Now this activity is going to be your home activity. Make sure that you check page number 149 from the New Voice textbook. Now as I told you children, the first two stanzas, rhyming words and the rhyme schemes is already done for you. What you need to do is check out stanza 3 and stanza 4, okay? And make sure you're going to check few more rhyming words from the remaining stanzas and also the rhyming scheme, right? And check whether you are able to confidently do all these things, and you can write down this particular activity on maybe your notebook or any other rough book. But make sure children you are going to do this. The reason is practice is really important. If you don't practice how these rhyme schemes and rhyming words are supposed to be identified, it will be really difficult for you. So now when it's fresh in your mind, make sure that you're going to practice well. All right. So yes children, now we are done with this poem number 15, The Rum Tum Tugger, written by T.S. Eliot. And make sure that you are going to recite this entire poem and also do the activity which is given to you. And below the video there will be a worksheet. Make sure children you are going to solve this worksheet and send it across online. Alright, so till we meet you again for the next session, take care children. Bye bye.